The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
We are just days away from the launch of our Best in the World with Richard Parr Patreon page. That is your opportunity to help support this show. Yes, every single week I speak to an Olympic champion, a world champion, a world record holder, or a world number one to find out what they do differently from the rest of us in the world to become the very best at their sports, and to continue to produce this for you for free every single week. I'm asking for a little contribution, and you can do that at Patreon, patreon.com. We're going to have an exact link when we launch on August the 1st. Yes, our Patreon page will go live on August the 1st, and that's where you can contribute to our program for as little as $1 a month. So if you're in the UK, that's less than £1. Yes, you can contribute to keeping this podcast on the air, and we can continue to learn from people all around the world. And you can contribute more than $1, and as you contribute more, there's more benefit for you. We're going to give you exclusive behind the scenes access and extra benefits if you support our program on Patreon. So go and check that out. We'll be launching on August the 1st. We'll obviously have all the information on our Facebook page, Best in the World with Richard Parr. We'll also have information on the Sportacino Twitter page, and of course my own Twitter page at Richard_Parr. All right, let's talk about today's episode. We are speaking to the speed skating Olympic gold medalist Jan Blokhuijsen. Yes, he was part of the team which won the team pursuit in the 2014 Sochi Olympics. And he talks about the relationship he has between other speed skaters, in particular Sven Kramer, who's one of the greatest speed skaters of all time. He talks about how one moment he's a rival, the next moment he's a teammate. He goes into quite a bit of detail about why Jorrit Bergsma withdrew as a substitute from the gold medal winning team. And we talk about a lot of different things as well. The Dutch skater talks about his training routine. He also talks about reaching a state of flow. You don't want to miss that part of the conversation. Plus, we've got a beautiful story about how he met his model fiancée using social media. Yes, it wasn't online dating, but you'll find out exactly how on this podcast. Do not miss it. All right, let's get to it. Let's speak to the best in the world, the speed skating Olympic champion, Jan Blokhuijsen.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
Jan Blokhuijsen, welcome to the Best in the World with Richard Parr, speed skating Olympic gold medalist. So great to have you on the program. Really delighted that we get to learn from you, because some of the interviews we've done with speed skaters in the past have been some of the most insightful. So no pressure. At the time of doing this interview, it's only a few weeks after you've injured your ankle, from what I've read online. How are you doing at the moment?
Yeah, there was a little bit of a setback. So just 1 week into my Olympic season, we were in Spain, and I had an accident on the inline. But actually, I'm doing really good. I spent the last 4 weeks in plaster, and last week it came off, and now I only have a brace when I do some dangerous stuff like jumping around. But actually, it's going. The recovery is going really fast, and I hope to be on the ice because of the team. The team is already on the ice for 2 weeks now, so I hope to be on the ice next week.
Fantastic. You're coming across quite positive with this injury. Is that how you normally deal with injuries, or when it first happened, how did you react mentally and personally?
I have to say that I have been quite lucky with injuries. So this was the first time in my life I broke something. Unfortunately, it was my ankle, so that's kind of important as a skater. But my first reaction was, of course, I was really angry because, it was my own fault because I don't know what the word is for it in English, but I tackled myself. Let's put it that way. So then I tried to recover from that, and then my ankle just folded. And then then I tried to save. I tried to not fall, and then it folded the other way, and then eventually I launched myself into some, luckily some grass, not asphalt. But then, there was a truck driver. He was driving behind me, and he saw it happen, and he was right away. He said, "Oh, your ankle, you should go to the hospital." And I was like, it's just my tendons, and it hurts, but I'll be okay. And but he was pushing like, "No, you should go to the hospital." So then my management came from the team, and my staff, and first we went to the hotel, then afterwards we went to the hospital. We made a photo, like what is it, an X-ray?
X-ray, yeah.
And yeah. But on the X-ray, it didn't show that it was broken, so we treated it like some trauma to the ankle muscles and tendons. So then 3 weeks passed where I just trained, and then when I flew back to Holland, I got into the plane, and then all of a sudden it was really swollen again, and then I thought something was wrong. In Holland, I went to the hospital again, did a CT scan, and then it showed it was broken. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but on the other hand, I didn't lose any training now, and they said that it's in a really good the broken bone is in a really good position still. And I didn't need surgery because it was already 3 weeks ago. So because if I needed surgery, they would put like a screw on the back of my heel, and that's exactly where your skating boot will press into your ankle. So I think that could have resulted in some irritation, maybe inflammation. So in the end, I'm pretty happy I didn't get operated, and I feel already really confident on my ankle. So I hope in 1 or 2 weeks, I can be back on the ice, which is the most important thing, of course. Because now twice a day I've been biking, so that's it's getting a little bit boring.
Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram page before this interview, and there was a lot of cycling on there. But you know, when you go to beautiful places like Mallorca, you got to take photos of places like that. You mentioned that this is your first major injury in your career, and of course you've had a highly successful career. You're Olympic champion. You're the best in the world. Other than injuries, what have been some of or the biggest other challenges that you've faced in your career?
I would say that when I was going into the previous Olympic year, I switched teams, and there was a lot of pressure inside the team that I left because one of my biggest opponents, Sven Kramer, was in the team, and we got really close. I got really close, and that was maybe a little bit scary for him and the team. So it was not really, how do I say? It wasn't really good fight for me anymore. So they wanted to keep me, but I felt like, if I want to win, I should go somewhere where I can do my own program. Something that is like custom fit for me. And so I changed teams, but that was pretty hard because I left, I think, the best team the skating world has ever seen, the most professional one. And I went to another team that was not on that level. And so it was a challenge for me to get the same athlete environment around me. And that cost me a lot of energy. And coming back from the Olympics, I really felt I was a little bit empty. I needed to I needed a break actually, but I didn't. And then it resulted in some kind of a burnout I had. And I think that was one of the most toughest periods I experienced.
What's your relationship now like with Sven, Jan?
No, it always has been good, but like in sport, on the ice, it's a battle. So we have always get along great, but on on a sports level or on an exercise. How do I say this? Yeah, just like in the field, it's you have to kill each other, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, it must be difficult for you when you are very often, because the Netherlands have got this great history of speed skating and have been so successful over the years. It must be difficult for you that when you're in team pursuit, you're very often teammates with people who in the other events are your arch rivals. How difficult is it to switch from one to the other?
Yeah, that's true. It's a good question. I think the only thing that counts is winning your event and setting the fastest time. So, and in order to achieve that, you have to work together. And so you have to, maybe you don't get along with this guy, or that guy is not your best friend, but that doesn't matter. You just have to push aside your personal issues and just be a professional. And I think that's what we're really good at. But we have to, because the competition is also skating really fast, and if those things get in the way, you won't get everything out of your performance. I think to get the 100% result, yes, it cannot be personal. You have to think about the team, and we get coached into that, and the team pursuit is then. It's something they really push for in Holland too. Our sponsor of the federation, it's a mobile company, KPN. They really think the team pursuit is important, just for the same reason you said. Like, you have to work together. Maybe you don't get along, but the greater goal is winning the gold medal. So in order to achieve that, you have to work together, and you have to help each other and communicate with each other. So that's what they really want to achieve in their own company too. So we're a little bit of a role model for them.
It's interesting. On one of the previous podcasts I had, I spoke to the track cycling gold medalist Callum Skinner, and he won. I think it was a track pursuit with Jason Kenny and another rider, and then he ended up facing Jason Kenny in an individual event in a final, and they were actually roommates. And the night before the event, they're actually kind of softly joking, very very British humour, of one of them saying, "Oh, I don't need to sleep tonight. I've got so much energy," or "My legs are feeling really strong today."
Yeah.
What's the relationship like within the Dutch camp? Are there jokes like that? Can it be kind of laid back, or is it all serious business, no matter what the event is?
It's actually the other way around for us, because the team pursuit is at the very end. But the last at the Olympics in Sochi, Jorrit Bersma, who won the 10K, he was a substitute in the team pursuit, and he didn't want to be the substitute, but like 1 hour going into the final, he said he was going to drop his role as a substitute. So that was a little bit stressful for us, and it didn't sit really well with the team, as you can imagine, because if something happened to one of the three guys that were racing, so me, Koen or Sven, we had nobody to skate with, and you can only start with three people. So it was a little bit, I can understand why he felt that way, but I think it was not the best decision to not show up.
Did you speak to him personally? What's your relationship like with him now?
Yeah, I get along with everybody. Okay, but I told him what I thought about it. So and I think his coach had a little bit too much influence in his decision. That was a shame. Otherwise, he got another gold medal. So.
Yeah, exactly. Missing out on another gold medal at the Olympics.
Just for not showing up. I think a lot of people. It could be in this. It could be in this place. I think they would have showed up.
Yeah,
gold.
I think so too. And
he already had one. So
I wonder what he would do if he could go back in time. Now, you mentioned about changing teams there, Jan. What does your training regime look now, and what have been some of the changes that you've made since moving team?
I think I actually moved again because the team after the Olympics decided it was not the best place for me. So that year I left, and now I'm in a team that is. So the team I left, the called Team TVM. You probably know about it. That doesn't exist anymore, but people that coaches and staff and physio, they all went to another team. Team just leaves the team I'm skating in right now, and some athletes stay. So it's kind of the same. In the red line is the same team, but just with a little bit relaxer vibe, I would say.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
We'll be back with Jan in just a moment, but as we are only days away from the launch of the Patreon page on August the 1st, I just want to give you a quick reminder that you can support our show at patreon.com from the 1st of August. There'll be lots of benefit to you as you contribute more to our program, and hopefully you can help us to cover the costs that we need to do to make this program. You know, we're always trying to find new guests, and the time it takes to email and organize, and also the cost it takes to produce and edit and then also market this podcast. So if you get a moment and would like to help support our show, please go and check out the Patreon page from the 1st of August. All right, let's return to the conversation with Jan Blokhuijsen.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
Give us an idea of a typical training day for you then, Jan.
Typical training day. Right now in the summer, we obviously make a lot of hours on the bike. I think because of my injury too, I'll get some more miles this year. But normally in the summer we would bike between 12 to 14,000 kilometers. So that's quite a lot. And the bulk of this, you will do in the summer, because in the winter you'll be on the ice more. So on a day like this, for example, today I started off with an interval training on a bike, which lasted like 2 hours, and it was quite high intensity. So I had to do some 1 minute intervals, 14 of those, with around 600 to 700 watt. And I don't know if you bike, but that's quite strong. Mm-hmm. So coming back from that, you have so that will take like 2 hours. So I was like 1 hour before lunch was back. Then I sit on my patio outside, chill a little bit, play with the dogs.
Oh, nice.
Then I have lunch with my fiance, and then I say we, but I go and take a siesta, which is really important for an athlete, of course. I think you probably hear that more often. So when you sleep, you recover better, so you're sharper and more focused for your second training. In the afternoon, I have the second training. Normally, after a bike training, you train another system. So normally not biking, but because I'm injured, I biked again. But before this bike training, I did some core work. To strengthen my core muscles and like 360 degrees. I did a little bit of weight training too on the leg press. Afterwards, I got on the bike, put some hours in, and then I go back to the house, get a little bit of cool down, have dinner with my fiance again, and then I'm Skyping with you. So a typical day is just training twice, sometimes 3 times a day, sleeping in the afternoon, and then going to bed early. Most time it gets a little bit later than I intended, but that's life, I think.
When's the wedding, Jan?
Good question. It's probably going to be around this time next year.
Okay, so you'll have had the Olympics pass you by, and then you can
Exactly.
concentrate on it. Because I was going to say that could be two very not stressful things, but a lot on your plate if you've got to work on both of those.
For me, it's pretty stressful. I'm very very good at focusing on my sport and doing whatever it takes, but all the rest is sometimes it's too much. Yeah. So as an athlete, you have to be really selfish, and I think it's nicer, when you have the Olympics. Hopefully, I was really successful there. Then I think I'll be a better husband.
Yeah, and I think also when you have a life event coming up afterwards as well, I wonder if that helps, no matter how you do at the Olympics, in a way of realizing that while you're trying to achieve something, that actually there's other things going on in life as well. How do you normally cover when you do have disappointments or success? What do you like when you don't achieve your goal or target?
Yeah, it really depends, because if you let's just say you had a perfect season, you skated great, you had for example on the Olympics, you had a great race, but you end up third or fourth. You can be really pissed about that, but I think most of the time, you feel like, okay, this is what I could do, and I did everything I could, and it was not enough, and then you just have to you just accept that. I think I would accept that. But on the other hand, if I had like a preparation where I didn't put in all the work I could, or I had like a race that I was like totally not satisfied about, and then you end up maybe first or maybe second even, or maybe second or maybe first even. Sometimes you're not like really satisfied for my part. So for me it really depends. If I feel like it's so nice as an athlete. Sometimes you have those races where everything just comes together, falls into place, and then you're like, it's really nice to in a competition to go into flow state, I would call this, and if you can skate from that place, then that's the most amazing thing.
Yeah, how often does that happen to you, Jan?
Almost, not a lot. No. It's something that's very special, and so I'm now 28, and I've been acting on this international podium for like 10 years, I would say, and I think I've only had 2 or 3 races like that. Yeah, so it's very precious, a race like that.
Is it addictive?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So when I have a race like that, you're so euphoric. You cannot be happier. And then, everything is nice. And you're like on this cloud.
Yeah. Can you identify when the first time that happened for you was?
Yeah, the very first time that was and that was actually in the year of Vancouver, 2009. So. This was I was a rookie, and I didn't ever skate a World Cup. And on the qualifications, I was 5th, I think, or 6th. So I was substitute. Then there was one guy didn't skate because he was ill, and I could skate in Heerenveen. It was in the B division, so there was no television, but I skated I think 6 seconds off of my personal best, and the first time under 620. So the 620 back then, now like more guys skate, regularly skate under 620, but 620 was like a barrier. So I did 619.2, and I was like, holy shit, man! If I can do this, I probably can qualify for the games. And, I was really, really, really happy.
Because of course you did qualify for the 2010 games.
That was what I was gonna say, because of this time that I did in the World Cup, I got like how do you say this? I qualified myself to qualify myself for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So I needed like this limit, and top, I think a top 5 or top 3 placement. And the guy that didn't skate was the guy I knocked out on the qualification tournament. So.
Oh wow! So you directly took his spot.
Exactly, it was such a coincidence, and we actually the team pursuit went a little bit wrong. We skated an Olympic record, but we got third. So something went wrong in the qualifications, and we learned a lot from that. But it was a really significant event in my career, I would say.
And so you got bronze in 2010, and then that became gold in 2014. As a team and as an individual, what were some of the I know you said about changing teams, but were there anything that you guys did in particular which you think was able to elevate you to medal statuses?
Yeah, for sure. I already mentioned the qualifications. The qualifications are really tough here. They're the most toughest in the world for skating. And because we have so much skaters and we have so much quality, and I think one of the few countries who has commercial teams. And this commercial teams, enables you to have a budget for traveling, for staff, for physios, weight training, bikes, cars, you name it, camps. And all those things I think are really important to get your performance to a higher level. If you're so sometimes we're 2 weeks at home, 2 weeks abroad for a camp. But in this time, you have nothing on your mind when you're in a camp. When you're at home, there's always things coming up you have to attend to, you have to fix or whatever. And when you're in a camp, you're isolated and you only have to think about your training. It's like eat, sleep, train, repeat. I should say train, eat, sleep, and repeat. So I think that's really something that's in the Dutch skating culture, that you go away for training and get a lot of quality done, and you spend a lot of time with your team, I think which resulted in like maybe 10 or 12 years doing this, is that our level of just our skating level just went up. And in 2010. We didn't have such a good year as the Dutch guys, but in 2014 everything was just perfect. Also in the preparation in Holland, and I think people they didn't believe that we were able to win so much medals, and they said that there's no competition, but the competition skated the same as they did actually in 2010 in Vancouver, but we just made like a big leap forward. And we just ended up having a gold rush. So, on the first day we had on the 5K, I got the silver, but we had a fully Dutch podium, and this really inspired like the other people on the Dutch team, on all the events. And actually this happened over and over. And so, it was like we lifted each other up, and the spirit also in the Olympic house was really good. We had a wall of fame, where all the people that won medals, they got their picture up, and so everybody, when they would go in or out this building, saw like the wall of fame. So that was really inspiring too. And, I think that resulted in such a great medal count.
Yeah, fantastic. With the success of 2014, do you think you're going to feel pressure going into next year's event? And what are some of the goals that you've set for yourself?
I would say that I feel less pressure than the Olympics before, because back then, I didn't have like an individual medal. So I would say like an individual medal counts for me more than a team pursuit medal, because this is something you did by yourself. So having this silver is not gold, obviously, but I was really proud that all the work I put in, and all the struggles I had to overcome, that I was able to perform there and get my silver. And this really motivates me to change the color this year. But I feel more relaxed going into it, because I know what it I think takes for me to get on this level. Unfortunately, I had a little bit setback with my ankle, but on the other hand, I did a lot of core training, which I would normally skip a little bit or cheat. And I spent so much hours on the bike, which put me on like a really. I'm really fit at the moment. So I feel that it happened for a reason, and my ankle is recovering very very fast. So it shows that I'm fit too. So yeah, I'm just really eager, to make the team, and I don't feel the pressure that I if I don't go, I would feel, my choice of switching teams they will hold it against me or whatever. So I feel more free this year, actually.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all of the best for that. It's interesting that you have suffered an injury with less than a year to go, but actually from some of the interviews that I've done on this program, in particular the rower Mahe Drysdale and the swimmer Lenny Kreiselberg, they both suffered injuries leading up to a major Olympics and still went on to win gold. So very often these setbacks, as you say, allow you to focus on other areas, and also sometimes, from what I've heard from these Olympic champions, allows the body to rest a little bit. And so you're able to come back stronger. So I hope that is the same for you, and I wish you all the best with that. Yeah, and before we go, you just let us know how we can continue to follow you on social media and continue to follow your career, so we get a real insight of you leading up to the next Olympics and the rest of your life, please.
Yeah, you mentioned social media, which is funny because as you can tell, I don't really post a lot. The thing is, my fiance and me, we met on Instagram actually, and but we both, we don't live with our telephones. We kind of I think maybe born in the wrong age, but it's really funny that we should met in that way, because normally we don't post. We're not that much online.
Fantastic. Did you just send her a message saying, "Hi, I'm Jan," and it went from there?
No. Actually, so she's a model. She has a model agency, and she didn't scout me, but she's really an animal lover, and I here in the neighborhood, they know me as like the dog whisperer, because I didn't have time for a pet myself, because I was away so often, and so I had the keys of I think 10 people, and I could always take the dogs out. So I live very close to the forest, like 1 minute, and so I would always go with the dogs to the forest, play, and just be outside, get some fresh air, let your thoughts go, and sometimes I would make a photo and post it, and one of the times I made a photo, and she saw this in her suggestions, and but she is never on her phone, so that was meant to be, I think. So she liked the photo, not because of me, because of the dog. And I was scrolling through my likes, and I saw her, and I was like, oh, what her name is Penny Lee Harttuiger, like Harttuiger, which is like a very beautiful name, I would say. So I checked her out, and I was like, holy shit, she looks really hot, and she likes animals, and she's into food and whatever. So I sent her two likes, and when I got some likes back, I was like, okay, this is on. And I sent her a private message. The rest is history. So yeah. So normally I would say I'm not such a fan of social media, but it really worked for us, so we're really grateful. And I should post some more. I should let people know what I'm up to more. And I think I'm going to do that going forward towards the Olympics.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, that's a beautiful story, very romantic. Yeah. And I'll make sure that we put links to your Twitter and Instagram page on the show notes of this page, so we can see what you're up to and see dogs and you on bikes and your blossoming wedding coming up soon, and hopefully some more Olympic gold medals. Jan, it's been so good to talk to you. Thanks for being on the program, and thank you for being the best in the world.
Thank you very much, and I'm psyched to go into this Olympic season, and you'll hear some more from me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.
Wonderful to speak to Jan, and of course we've had some really good speed skaters on this program before. Maybe go back and listen to Chad Hedrick. That's one of my favourite podcasts on the Best in the World with Richard Parr, so I highly recommend that. Also, Joachim Oidehaag was very, very good. I know I've probably said his name completely wrong. It's very difficult for me. But again, that is a fantastic podcast. Plus, you heard Jan talk about Jorrit Bergsma and his reasons for withdrawing from their team pursuit event. And we will have Jorrit Bergsma on this podcast in a few weeks where he will give his version of those events, plus much, much more as we learn from him, because he is the best in the world as well. All right, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, and also press that subscribe button so you never miss a moment. But until next week, I've been Richard Parr, and we will have more from the best in the world. Goodbye.
The Best in the World podcast with Richard Parr.